Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast. This is Ari. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Anya.
Hi.
What up?
Say what?
What up, what up, what up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Moon Podcast. My name is Shan, the mother of two girls, the creator of many things. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're talking about the prep for kids at home. That starts at home before they leave your home, before they go out the door, before they go to school, before they move out, before they go to college, all that. Just talking about a few things that goes into the parents, job of raising good, well-mannered, humble, respectable children into young adults. I'm talking about, prepping them for laundry. I'm talking about earning and managing their money. Talking about prepping them to be able to make their own meals. Prepping them for utilizing their time better. Prepping them for the respectfulness needed in order to make it through each day in this world. Prepping them for emergencies. How young children age 12 to 16 can get from point A to B without you. Etiquette at restaurants, cleaning the house, and last but never least, what to do in sexual encounters. So, for you parents out there, for your caregivers, for you sitters, for you aunties and uncles that has taken on the big job of raising a child or multiple children, get some pen and paper, get a notebook, or you can listen to this over again to hear what I have to say. I will explain and elaborate on what I can, and if I cannot, peace be with you. It's like I'm just playing, but yeah, I'm gonna go over a few things, some good points here that may help many of you. Some of this I know some of you are already doing, but let's get into it. All right, so let's start at 1 and I'll move my way up to 10. All right, so prep for the laundry for boys and girls. I think boys and girls should know how to do their own laundry. You can start them as young as 5 by allowing them to sort the colors, okay? You have a mixed color pile, you have a whites pile, and you have a darks pile. Have them sort the laundry. That is not a big job. They can't make a mess. Just have them do that, all right? Once they get to like 8 or 9, have them see how much soap goes into the laundry. Have them see when to put the fabric softener in if you are using fabric softener. Have them know how to take the clothes out of the washing machine and put it in the dryer without dropping it on the floor. That is key, because you especially do not want to do that if you live in a big major city, dirty city like New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, or California, and there's lots of people using a public laundromat. You do not want to drop clean clothes on the floor. So, and show them if they're putting in dryer sheets, how many dryer sheets to put in, what's the point of dryer sheets. Have them take out the laundry out of the dryer, put it in the basket or put it in the laundry bag, and either take it to their room to fold it, show them how to properly fold it, or take it to whoever's room is like their stuff for your room. Here, do that, and just have them understand the value of maybe not having to do laundry, the value of when their mom or their dad does their laundry, and how that's like a everyday thing for the rest of your life, that you're going to be basically add dirty clothes, pull out clean clothes, and there's a time where you're going to have to wash it so you can reuse the clothes that you have to wear them outside the door. You can't always just get up and buy new clothes whenever your drawers are dirty or your shirts are dirty or your pants have holes in them. And I think that's going to make them appreciate what they have a lot more. And then when they get to like 13, 14, 15, 16, you need to one day not say anything, pack up all the dirty laundry in the house, tell them to get in the car, get some soap, get some dryer sheets and fabric softener, drop them off at a laundromat, give them the bags of laundry not sorted, and tell them to do the laundry, dry it, fold it, and when they're done, call me and I'll come pick you up. Because that is real life when you are in New York or you are in a major city and you live by yourself, or you're in an apartment and you have to walk down the street with a big old laundry bag or a basket, and you have to go to a laundromat and wash your clothes with thousands of people in a city, and you have to make sure you remember to take your clothes out the dryer, and you have to make sure you remember that you cannot wash the rugs with your clothing, and you have to wash them separately, and you make sure you remember every item that you brought in, or you snooze, you lose. I say drop them one day at the laundromat, bags unsorted, give them a bag of quarters, some fabric sheets, some soap, and some bleach, and tell them to make it work. And anything they mess up, they're going to pay for. I'm telling you, at least one time, that's going to humble them, okay? All right. So that's the prep for laundry for boys and girls, because we don't need no boys growing into men and thinking their girlfriend that comes by sometimes supposed to do their laundry. We don't need no men trying to be like, oh, I don't know how to do laundry because my mom always do it. No, you don't want your grown child, your grown adult child coming back to your house for you to wash their laundry. I know I don't want my girls coming to me about laundry. They need to do it themselves. All right, so that's the prep for laundry. Let's get into the next thing. All right, 2, earn and manage money. This is a lifelong lesson that you're going to learn over and over and over and over and over again, okay? I'm talking, you're going to learn what it's like to have an overdraft fee and you haven't eaten all day. You're going to learn what it's like to have negative dollars and you still got bills to pay. You're going to learn what it's like to have a whole bunch of money on payday and by Monday you're broke because you paid rent, you paid gas bill, you paid electric bill, you paid car note, you paid car insurance, you paid for renter's insurance, you paid for your kids to go to daycare, you've paid for food to put in the fridge that they probably waste sometimes. You're going to understand the value of money. So I would say give your kid like a weekly goal of how much money they should have by the end of the week, with you initiating a certain amount of dollars at the beginning of the week. Make them in charge of making it last them the whole week. I don't care if they have to buy gas for their car, essentials that they need for their personal care, food that they want to buy at school instead of eating the food that's in the house, their phone bill if they're old enough to text, talk on the phone after hours, they need to be paying their phone bill, and if they want to buy snacks, and for them to decide if purchases that they want as far as clothing that they do not need is actually a need or a want. that is going to help them build up character. That is going to help them be more individuals on deciding what they do with their money. And that is going to help them see that once your money's done, your money's done. Unless it is a absolute need, okay? I will go ahead and buy what you need. But that want money, once it's done, it's done. That's going to help them, okay? You have to teach them what goes into earning the money that they have. And you have to teach them what goes into managing the money that they've earned. Because life is going to hit them hard if you're just issuing out money every time they pull their hands out and they don't know what it takes to work for it. I'm just letting you know. Teach them about budgeting. Teach them about saving. Teach them about if a bank is needed or if it's not. Teaching them about why retirement is needed. Teaching them about how loans work versus having a lease or buying a vehicle. Teach them all about that so they can be more aware of what they need to do and what they don't need to do by the time they hit 18, because those stupid choices are coming. Let's get into the next thing. All right, number 3, prep their own meals. It is pivotal, especially in the climate where the food in 2019 is not even real, that they're selling at like fast food places. Like, you just don't know what chemicals they're putting in that food for it to last as long as it lasts. Therefore, in order to afford life and to make better options as far as what to eat, your kids need to know how to prep their own meals in order for it to be edible, delicious, and their stomachs are kept on full, even if you're not around. I'm talking high school, college, when they get their own place, the importance of knowing what pot to cook certain things in, the importance of knowing how high to have the fire, how to clean chicken, how to season meat properly, how to make good rice. It took me until I was 28 years old to cook rice the correct way. I always made it too sticky or too much water, or it was tasteless and I got really irritated and I threw it away. And my mom wasn't the mom that's like, get up, I'm going to show you how to do it this one time and then you're going to do it next time. My mom wasn't that mom. My mom will cook anything for any of us, any of the 5 of us. She will cook anything at any hour of the day or night if we ask her without hesitation. And I wish she was like more stern and she was that parent that was like, no, you're going to be a woman one day. Come into the kitchen. I'm going to show you how you do it. And then you're going to do it the next time you want it. Because I would have known a lot more sooner. I would have been more independent sooner and more just ready to do it myself if I needed to. So you need to teach them how to season chicken properly. You need to teach them how to make rice properly. You need to teach them how to correctly wash dishes. You need to teach them when to throw away the sponge. You need to teach them the importance of knowing their spices and what veggies they should eat with certain meals. You need to teach them pot lessons, the sauce pot, the frying pan, what size frying pan, the pot with the grills on the bottom that's good for when you're doing fish and you want to sear it, or if you're doing steak, or if you're doing grilled chicken, it makes the chicken look pretty. You need to teach them not to use metal in certain pots because it's going to scratch it. You need to teach them the importance of knowing their utensils in the kitchen and at the table, and how to set a table. The placement of things in the kitchen, where the seasoning should be near to where the stove is, where the coffee mug should be near to where, let's say, the sink is, or the small plates, or how to stack plates properly so they don't break, or how to put away glasses, how to make sure that they're dry before you put them away. Make them make you breakfast on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings, if you're off of work, you have time for them to do it the right way, to learn the right way to do it, or to mess up and do it over. That's a perfect time for learning and teaching on how to make breakfast. Scramble the eggs, how to make cheesy eggs, how to do grits, what goes into grits, how to measure, how to taste things, how to fry bacon or sausage, or make hash browns, or corned beef hash, or pancakes. It took me until I was 28 to correctly make my pancake. Okay? And I had a mother who was Jamaican who cooked 3 times of the day every day up until I was 30. Okay? All right. I'm just telling you, you're going to help your kid a lot if you do this. Let them prep their own meals. Let them cook their own stuff. And it's going to save you time when you come home from work and you're just tired and you look in the fridge and there's unseasoned chicken sitting there. Or better yet, it's the frozen chicken that you told them to take out so it can thaw so you can cook when you come home. I'm telling you, if you allow them to be more independent when they can, and teach them so they can learn and understand and reciprocate, you're going to be better off. I'm telling you, I'm trying to save y'all. All right, next thing. Number 4, utilizing time better. I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting up with the alarm clock since I was about 8 years old. Okay? Getting ready for school. My mom would cook breakfast. I was in charge of brushing my teeth, getting dressed, laying my clothes out the night before, getting downstairs, having my homework in my book bag, having it by the door, setting my shoes by the door, washing my hands, saying good morning to everybody, sitting at the table. My mom probably already did my hair the night before. All she have to do is brush up the front. And by the time I'm finished, take my plate to the kitchen, go to the front, put on my shoes, tie my shoes, and wait by the door. Or walk to the bus stop with my brother. Or walk to school. Okay? That was me. That was my life. So, your child should know what to do in order to utilize all their time. They should wake up before time. Okay? Before time is better than being on time. This is not an argument. Do not try it. Wake up before time, okay? They should be headed to say the good morning. We don't have to be up close because I know your breath is kicking. Say the good morning. Wake up before I have to tell you to get up. Go to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, pee, flush the toilet, put the toilet seat down. Open up your eye, get in between your eye, clean your ears, make sure everything goes in the trash can. Put your toothpaste away, close the toothpaste, clean out the sink, put up your toothbrush, head to your room, take off your pajamas, put it up on your bed or put it away. Lotion yourself, put on deodorant, put on your clothes. If you need help with your clothes, come to me and ask me for help. Clean up your room. Get your shoes, get your book bag, get your jacket, get your hat, put it by the door. Come around the table, get your breakfast, whatever you're eating. By the time you finish your breakfast, probably brushing up your hair, or if you're a boy, make sure you brush your hair. And make sure by the time I'm ready to leave, you at the door or you're out the door. Make sure that before your bus come, you at the bus stop. Okay? Go to class. There's no playing. There's no reason for you to be late early in the morning. Go to class. Do your work. Don't let them call me from school. Get where you need to be in order to get home, whether you have to take the bus, the train, or a school bus, or you walk in. Make sure you get in the house and you call me when you get into the house. Checkpoints throughout the day. Call me when you get into the house, okay? Once you get back home, you need to wash your hands, take off your shoes, put your book bag where you're going to do your homework. You can probably have a snack and a drink. Do your homework. This is not the time for you to be watching TV. No, that's a privilege. This is not the time for you to be playing on a phone. No, that's a privilege. After you do your homework, if you have something due tomorrow, study for it. If you need to review something, this is the time to do it. I probably will be making dinner, or there's probably dinner already in the fridge. Warm it up, eat it, or wait. Prep for tomorrow, meaning go take out your clothes that you're wearing tomorrow. Make sure your schoolwork is up. Anything for me to sign, make sure you give it to me that night, not the morning, not the next morning. You can play or you can eat, but if it's your bedtime, make sure you're headed to the bathroom to pee, brush your teeth, whatever you gotta do, and head to bed. That is utilizing your time better. There should be no issue throughout that day, unless it's an emergency that happens or you're sick, that you couldn't get the things done that you needed to get done. That is utilizing your time better. Okay? If you have something to do school-wise and you think it's okay for you to be outside playing, and I'm going to have to find out, you're going to be in trouble. Point blank period. Handle your business, because I handle mine. That's why you have a house. That's why you have clothes on. That's why you have food in the fridge. That's why you're comfortable. That's why you're not sick. Okay? All right. So that's utilizing your time better. All right. Number 5, respectfulness. That starts at home. If your kids disrespect you, they're going to be disrespectful to the people outside of your house. I'm talking about the people that's making their food, the people that's taking them from point A to point B, the teachers, the principal, anybody they come into, connection with, they're going to be rude. Okay? Make sure you tell your kids, if you see somebody in the morning in this house, you say good morning. Make sure if you tell your kids when you're leaving out the house, you say goodbye. Or you ask if you can be excused before you leave the table. Or when you come into the house, you let yourself be known. You say good afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Make sure when they're going to sleep, they say good night. Okay? That's knowing their greetings, okay? Especially they should know what manners are, where and when is the time and place for whatever, when to say thank you, when to say excuse me. They should know that when they're in a store and they're paying, they should hand the money to the cashier, not drop it on the counter or throw a card over. Listen, respectfulness, you have to tell them when they're at home. Make sure they understand who to call by their first name and who to not call by their first name. Make sure they know when to speak to someone's mother by Miss if they're not married, or Mrs. if they're married, Mr. last name, okay? Because when you're the same age with an adult, you still say Mr. or Mrs. unless it's like a friend, okay? They need to know the difference. They need to know what type of respect or communication goes for when they're speaking to their elders or when their elders are around, meaning the certain music you're not going to play if your grandparent is in the room or an older individual is in the room or around or near. Certain things you are not going to do around an elderly person. They need to know what it is to respect a woman if they're a male. They need to know what it's like to respect a man if they're a female, and how to carry themselves around a woman or a man. They need to understand self-respect. They need to understand that when they walk out the door, they're a representation of the family, okay? What they do is a representation of who you are and what you've done and what work you've put in. They need to know when to watch their tone, when to not yell, when to not raise their voice, how to speak inside a room or inside an office, how to channel their anger or frustration when they're in public. All of that is something that you have to teach them, and that goes under respectfulness. All right? Next thing. Number 6, emergency. What to do in case you're not around as a parent. What to do in case a teacher's not around, or they're by themselves, or they see something that's going to end horribly. What to do if there's a fire. What to do if there's a gun at school or on a school bus or in an office or in public. Let them understand gun awareness, meaning knowing the mannerisms of how someone may act if they were carrying a gun, knowing what a gun looks like when they see it, knowing the safety of a gun, where the safety should be on a gun, how to check if it's loaded. Let them know that they should not touch a gun if it is not theirs and you did not tell them to. Let them know that if they see a gun on the floor, they not touch it, that they get some type of authority to pick it up. Let them know that if a friend of theirs has a gun and they are in a vehicle with a friend, depending on what state they're in the United States, they can catch a charge. It's just awareness, okay? Let them know what to do if they are pulled over by the cops. Let them know how to watch their tone when the cops are talking to them, even if the cops are in the wrong. Let them know their rights. Inform them of their rights. Let me say this one more time. Inform your teenagers that are able to leave the house without you of their rights. Okay? Talk to them about worst case scenarios if something can happen at a certain situation, at a party, wherever. Let them know who their emergency people are, whether it's more family, friends, or neighbors. Help them understand authority, meaning authority figures are not always right and they're not perfect. They are human beings in uniform that have an oath to protect, quote unquote, but it's very selective on how they protect. And sometimes when ignorance takes over, some authority folks may look at you as a target. Some authority folks may look at you as being guilty without proof, automatically, depending on how they think. And depending on your movements, the first thought for them may be to shoot first. That is just the realization of how people live in the U.S., especially if you're at a minority somewhere or your skin is darker. All right. Understand that they need to understand what type of protection is legal. Okay? Sometimes having pepper spray on certain premises is not permitted. Sometimes having a taser is not permitted. Sometimes having a gun certain places is not permitted. Like, even for me right now, I do have a firearm, but because I have young kids, I make sure that it is put away, locked up. I make sure when I carry it, I know where it is and it's locked up. I make sure the safety is on. I have my gun license, so if I wanted to carry it for whatever reason that I felt like it, legally, I've done the steps to make sure that I'm in the right, okay? Now, just because I have a gun here in Georgia doesn't mean that I can take my gun wherever I want when I go from city to city or state to state. Every state is different. But it's your responsibility to make sure you're safe with a firearm, because lots of firearms take kids' lives every day. And because I am a mother and I have daughters, I don't want them to be so oblivious as to what goes into me having a firearm. I want them to know when they get to a certain age how to safely maneuver around a firearm, where the safety is on a firearm, what it sounds like. I need them to know how to aim it if they had to defend themselves for whatever reason at a certain age. That is something, when you live in America, you are putting, and this is like, it could be your opinion too, but I feel as a parent of living in America, in the U.S., that it is my job to make sure my kids are knowledgeable about how to protect themselves, especially if they have to use a firearm. Because having more knowledge than not having knowledge at all can lead you on two different paths. Okay? So let them understand what is legal protection. Let them understand that there's different rules for different places. And even if I carry my gun and I have a right to carry my gun, any store wherever I travel has a right to refuse to serve me, has a right to refuse to allow me to shop there. That is their decision, okay? And it's all about knowing what you're getting into, because it's your responsibility if you want to carry what you want to carry. All right, next thing. All right, number 7, point A to point B. If your child is between the age of 12 and 16 years old, they should know how to use public transportation if they had to. That's trains if you live in certain cities. That's buses. That's when it's going to be trolleys. Depends on where you live. They should know, because this is the times of mobile devices, how to use an Uber, how to call a Lyft. They should be responsible, because those people are only imperfect humans in their own vehicles driving you from point A to point B. Anything can happen in that drive, okay? So just be on your P's and Q's. Pay attention. Don't be so caught up in your phone. You should inform them about driving with strangers. Again, imperfect people driving you from point A to point B. I've been on a bus here in Georgia where I witnessed a certain bus driver fall asleep, go in and out of sleep while driving the bus, and I had to report him. And I feel like his hesitation and his ego to defend himself, like, and say that he wasn't falling asleep, but he was. And I can understand, like, he's older and, he's not getting as much rest as he wants to. Retirement for certain jobs is not as great as it should be. And he probably needed to work. But the safety of other people on a bus, I just couldn't let slide. So, safety of, keeping your eyes open. If you have your headphones in, take one out, or keep your headphones in and maybe turn off your music if you don't want to be bothered. Wear your seatbelt. Pick safe drivers if you're around friends. Know what to do if you're lost, trying to get from point A to point B. Always make sure you have a backup charger. Make sure you check in if you're at friends' homes. Make sure you know what exits are at friends' homes. Make sure you're comfortable in a friend's home. If there's someone there that you do not know, do not get too friendly. Parent awareness, check-ins. Check in. Like, I don't want to go a whole day and not know where my kids are. Even with my best of friends, I still check in on the girls if they have them. It's just a thing you're supposed to do. And if your kid is between 12 and 16 years old, I feel like that's something they should know they need to do. Okay? When they get home and you're not there, check in. When they get to wherever they're going, by train, bus, or whatever, send a quick text. It's not hard. But that's from point A to point B. Okay? Okay. Number 8, etiquette at restaurants. Okay? There's a lot of adults still that do not have proper etiquette at restaurants. If your child goes to a restaurant, they need to know what to wear to what type of restaurant. What to wear at a dressy restaurant, what to wear at a dressed down restaurant, what to wear if they're on a work luncheon. They need to know what to wear. They need to know what utensils to use depending on what they're eating. They need to know their table manners. They need to know not to have their elbows on the table, where to put their napkin, how to cross their legs. They need to know how to properly order their steak, their burgers, or their eggs. They need to know how to handle money when dealing with a restaurant. They need to appropriately ask for things with the waiters or the waitresses. They need to tip smart. There's so many apps right now that'll tell you, depending on the amount of the meal, how many people, what to tip. Okay? Because these people that, serve you at restaurants, they're not making a lot of money, and they work hard. It's hard work to remember people's orders. It's hard work to bring out that stuff and not drop it. It's hard work to always check in when you have like 10 tables on the side of a restaurant. So tip them. Make sure they know how to decipher what they need to pay for on group bills. Make sure they know that gratuity sometimes is added in automatically. So whatever you're assuming you're going to be paying for your meal, add $10 or $12 more on top of that, depending on how much you're eating or whatever you ordered. Make sure they know where to put their napkins. Make sure they know how to handle rudeness if someone is being rude to them, or a manager is being rude, or what to do if they're being mistreated at a restaurant. And if somebody is being rude to them that is bringing them their food, tell them it's time for you to get up and just leave. Because you really don't want somebody that does not like you or is giving you a vibe that they don't like you to be serving you your food, because you don't know what they're going to put in it. You don't know if they're going to spit in it. You don't know if they're going to put your food somewhere in their private parts and bring it out to you. You don't know what they're going to do to your food. What if, your order is wrong? They need to know what to do. They need to know that they need to wait to be seated at certain restaurants unless they're told to pick a table. Okay? All of that, they need to know what to do. Especially if they're having like a date and they're at a restaurant. That is a restaurant bit. Next thing. All right, number 10, last but not least, sexual encounters. Based on how someone's actions was towards any of my children, I need them to make sure they give me all the details of what happened for me to know if I do need to bring my gun with me. Period, point blank. All right? Harassment. They need to know if they're male or female. Harassment is real. Do not go texting somebody 1,000 times in a night or a day. Do not go banging down anybody's door. Do not call anybody 100 times during the day because you're mad that they're not answering or they need to talk to you. Nobody needs to do anything. You don't own anybody. Keep your hands to yourself, okay? Know where it's appropriate and inappropriate to touch or what to say at a job or things to talk about on the IM at work. Don't be an HR problem. HR, human resources, the people that will fire that ass. If I'm gonna be mad, the idea for you, the best bet for you is to not to do what you think you're going to do. If I'm going to be pissed off, if I'm going to not have words for you when I see you, don't do it. If it's going to make me a grandma before you can buy me a car, don't do it. Last but not least, do not ever embarrass me. Okay? Do not embarrass me in public. Do not take your butt to school and embarrass me. Do not take yourself overseas and embarrass me. Do not embarrass me on the news. Do not embarrass me while I'm at church. Do not embarrass me, period. Okay? Because as a mother who sat through labor with you, fed you, clothed you, make sure you were okay, make sure you got your needs and your wants. I'd be damned if you go ahead and embarrass me or disrespect your family based on something you thought was funny or something you thought you wanted to do. All right? That is all of the prep for kids that I have today. I hope it helped you out. I hope it put some things in perspective for you. And I hope it's something y'all could work on. My name is Shan. This is Cozy Womb. Peace. This is what's new. I went ahead this past week and created a little shop for Cozy Womb. So it's Cozy Womb shop.bigcartel.com, and there's some t-shirts on there with Aya's artwork. It's my 5-year-old's artwork. She has artwork all over my house, and when my friends come here, I give some to them, she gives them to them. I mail them to my mom, I mail them to my cousins. Anything to get out her clutter, and my walls are filled with it. So I was like, let me see if I could do something beneficial with these. So I put them on some t-shirts. They're on the site. I have it up on Cozy Womb Pod on my IG, and just check it out. And if you see something on there that you like, it could be her t-shirt with her artwork on it, or some products with pictures of the artwork I have in my house. That way we can get Cozy Womb from my home to your home. Peace.
Good night, good night, good night, good night.